I shall use my AirPod. I shall small bit more. Swear on it. Loosen the thin threads, spooling in the rafters, invisible nests in night's green offerings. Divide and the divide again. American linden looming over the streetlights. So much taller is the tree. So much taller. Suppose it's easy to slip into another's green skin, bury yourself in leaves, and wait for a breaking open, a breaking out. I have before been tricked into believing I could be both, and I and the world, the great eye of the world, it's both gaze and gloss. It is to be swallowed by being seen, a dream. To be made whole by being not a witness, but witnessed. Sanctuary by Ada Limón. Invasive. What's the thin break inescapable? A sudden thud on the porch, a phone vibrating with panic on the nightstand. Bury the broken thinking in the backyard with the herbs. One last time I attempt to snuff out the fig buttercup, the lesser celandine, invasive and spreading down the drainage ditch I call a creek. For a minor pleasure, I can do nothing. I take the soil in my clean fingers, and to say I weep is untrue. Weep is too musical a word. I heave into the soil. You cannot die. I just came to this life again, alive in my silent way. Last night I dreamt I could only save one person by saying their name and the exact time and date. I choose you. I'm trying to kill the fig buttercup the way I'm supposed to, according to the government website. But right now there's a bee on it, yellow on yellow, two things radiating life. I need them both to go on living. She needs the yellow on yellow, she needs the bee. Why does she need the fig buttercup? She can do nothing. The lesser celandine. It sprays. It spreads down into the drainage ditch. I call a creek for minor pleasure. She calls the creek for minor pleasure. She can do nothing. She can take the soil in my clean fingers and say, I weep is untrue. Weep is too musical a word. I heave into the soil. I just came to this life again, alive in my silent way. She chooses you. She's trying to kill the fig buttercup the way she's supposed to. A sudden thud on the porch, a phone vibrating, bury the broken thinking in the backyard with the words. One last time I attempt to snuff out the fig buttercup. Why does she not pluck it? It is invasive. The time when she tries to take it out, she is blocked by a bee. I do not think this poem has any significance. Yet, she cannot harm the buttercup because in doing so it harms the bee. She cannot harm the buttercup She just woke up. She just came to life, alive in her silent way. She had a dream she could only save one person, and she decides to save the buttercup which she has been trying to execute by trying to kill. She says she cannot weep because weep is too musical. This is real for her. She heaves into the soil. She attempts to snuff out the big buttercup. It spreads into her life. She does not want it to spread. She knows it is invasive, yet she just cannot let it go, because by letting it go, what was the dream for? And when she musters the courage, there is a bee on it. There is life. There is life, and she understands that the life is not worth living, but it is necessary for a moment. It is necessary for her to go on living. That is what matters to her. That is what matters to her. What initially plagued her makes her continue on. That's interesting. Some days, dishes piled in the sink, books littering the coffee table are harder than others. Today my head is packed with cockroaches, dizziness, and everywhere it hurts. The venom in the jaw, behind the eyes, between the blades. Still, the dog is snoring on my right, the cat on my left. Outside, all those red buds are just getting good. I tell a friend, the body is so body, and she nods. I used to like the darkest stories, the bleak snippets someone would toss out about just how bad it could get. My stepfather told me a story about when he lived on the streets as a kid. How he'd some nights sleep under the grill at a fast food restaurant until both he and his buddy got fired. I used to like that story for some reason, something in me that believed in overcoming. But right now all I want is a story about human kindness, the way once, when I couldn't stop crying because I was 15 and heartbroken, he came in and made me eat a small pizza he'd cut up into tiny bites until the cheers stopped. Baby, I was just hungry, I said. And he nodded, holding out the last piece. A good story. It's the name of this poem. Some days, dishes piled in the sink, packed with cockroaches, it hurts everywhere. Venom at the jaw, behind the eyes. She initially liked the stories, which were entertaining, which were funny. The story she can tell of hers is how her stepfather comforted her. She wishes someone was there, almost. That's how I see it. Someone she could trust, a father figure at that. In the shadow, the wild pansy shoves its persistent face beneath the hackberry's shade, true plum and gold with the alternate names. John Jump Up, Heartsea, Soren, my favorite. Love in idleness. I bow closer to the new face. I am always superimposing the face on the flowers. I call the violet moon Vinca, the choir. And there are surely eyes in the bird-eye speedwell, and mouths on the linear leaf snapdragon. It is what we do in order to care for things, make them ourselves, our elders, our beloveds, our unborn. But perhaps that is a lazy kind of love. Why can't I just love the flower for being a flower? How many flowers have I yanked to puppet as if it was easy for the world to make flowers? A wild pansy shows his persistent face. I bow closer to the new face. She supername. Surely eyes in the bird-eye speedwell and mouths on the linear snapdragon. It is what we do in order to care for things, make them ourselves, our elders, our beloveds, our unborn. Why is it lazy? Why must she use the flower to give it to other people? The pansy shoves its face beneath the other flower. Jump up. Heart sees love in idleness. She bows flower. She calls it names. She calls it names. And there are surely eyes in the bird-eye speedwell, and mouths on the linear leaf snapdragon. All flowers, mind you. These are all flower names. How many flowers have I named? She gives names to these things that she uses for others. But the things themselves had names. One more. For Cynthia. At the cabin in Snug Hollow near McSwain Branch Creek, just spring, all the animals are out, and my beloved and I are lying in bed in a soft silence. We are talking about how we carry so many people with us. Wherever we go, how even when simply living, these unearned moments are a tribute to the dead. We are both expecting to hear an owl as the night deepens. All afternoon from the porch, we watched an eastern towhee furiously build her nest in the untamed Cynthia, with its yellow spilling out into the horizon. I told him that the way I remember the name for Cynthia is that when my stepmother, Cynthia, was dying, that last week she said lucidly but mysteriously, more yellow. And I thought, yes, more yellow, and nodded because I agreed. Of course, more yellow. And so now in my head, when I see that yellow tangle, I say, for Cynthia, for Cynthia, for Cynthia, for Cynthia, more yellow. It is nightmare, and the owl never comes. Only more of night, and what repeats in the night. Again, this will not help me on my essay. But in the soft silence, these unearned moments are a tribute to the dead. We are expecting to hear an owl. She was reminded to hear an owl. There is no owl here. But she was reminded of the lack of the owl.